So before I start my presentation, before I go ahead with the nitty-gritty of startup investment, venture capital investment, Akwina 2014 Ningthem is also here, one of my co-organizer. Akwina 2014 first MU Manipur startup event, Manipur times of Manipur times ki Tamujite and Pullaga, Namo Aerosilver Pullaga, US Tele, Punna Pullaga. 2014 the MU means the Pullaga. So back to 2025, was it 10 years down the line? I'm still here, part of the startup ecosystem, organizing events, trying to promote startups, venture capital investment. So, but Hana Manipur I'm doing it for as an investment altogether in Nordic. So I'll brief you how it goes, and I'll follow you the step by step. So this will be my summary of the presentation. What is venture capital? What is the investment? Is it the right investment, or the right funding that you should ask for your startups, for your company? The stages of funding. Hello. Stages of funding. For the last 8 years, we have been investing in all over Nordisk. Investment portfolio company. So, and then comes the pitch deck format, the portfolio companies invest. But Manipur Startup Venture Fund is Yorkani, but I'll try to squeeze in everything. I have only 1 hour, I think. So what is venture capital? Startup for the last 4 or 5 years, 10 years down the line, before COVID, this startup investment for every instrument, startup investment, it's not just that you take funding and then you provide something. When you provide something, there is security going in a company to be security people, share people. If you are not doing that, you are either giving collateral land. I have a startup that they don't have their own land in their own name, loan to you're not eligible at all for the banks. Forget the business model revenue. First, bank you will be asked with a collateral. That is part of security. So if you are not giving that security as a loan or as a collateral, mortgage or land or anything physical, then in venture capital you have to provide some part of your company. That is the equity stake, right? So venture capital investment, equity hybrid, convertible hybrid, OCD hybrid, optionally convertible debenture. So there's a few instruments, financial kita in their chunk. So how venture capital is? Yes.
Ma'am, question to MTIU 7078. 7078. MTIU. Continue the next chapter.
So why venture capital? For the last few years, why venture capital is growing as an industry in India? Back when we started, at 2017, we started Nordisk Venture Fund in 2000. Even then, venture funds are yamam deva. So before venture fund, I joined co-working space, incubator, accelerator, Gurgaon, Delhi, the startup ecosystem, the experience. And then I joined this venture fund. So I came to Guwahati to just an event. That's how I'm part of the venture fund. But why venture capital is growing? Today we will see some of the company that has been growing in India all over, and why we are also trying our best to promote this investment model. So we all know Facebook. Facebook's the Mark Zuckerberg when he was at the early stage. Who are the people who was actually investing in their company, right? For a tech company who is a student coding with no financial instrument, who is actually supporting the idea? So those are the type of people who are investing. That is angel investment and a liar. So Peter Thiel is one of the early investors of so many tech companies. Why Peter Thiel is important in building a company, in building an ecosystem? Peter Thiel, the investor, was in a SpaceX, Spotify, LinkedIn, you see anything, right? So these are the people who actually are the risk taker has more ideation like Facebook Mark Zuckerberg Chama like how do you select him? Have an investment portfolio man. So then we have stages of funding. So when do you raise fund? When is the right time for you? If you are at a very early stage, say Uber Panga, slides ago. So these are the funding stage focus, common grade. Have a pre-seed hypes now money put it's divided into through the scheme it's divided into ideation and revenue stage in a but that is for the scheme. But as the stages of the company as the company grow, the proof of concept, that is the ideation stage. That is product market fit stages of different company. When you hire, that is you have only 1 or 2 people, right? You want to choose the best one. You don't want to choose just the because but if you have the right people, you'll be able to build a better company, right? So the seed live. That is when we come in, when we invest. Pre-seed when R&D stage production market etc. And then comes the revenue growth. The development stage, that is when you need investment for branding, marketing, when your product is ready, when you want to market your product, right? And then comes Series B, Series A, these are, so venture capital investment. So different stages, one is angel investment, as I put that here, friends and family, that is when you are not raising institutional investment, but you are raising from your friends, family, HNIs, and that is mostly common but it's not documented. Paper that is why angel investment budget angel investment takes low so there are different ways they have supported angel investment. So the incubator, accelerator, right? Incubator where it helps you to mentor, say, program, co-working space with the hiring. The accelerator. And then comes institutional investment like us as an organization with documentation, your proper placing compliance before you go ahead with further funding. So venture capital, when we say that, it comes usually around 1 crore, 50 crore, 60 crore. Then comes growth stage, series stage. You will be hiring all around, right? You will hire that is the fund utilization. Fund karoma raised over the 20% is for hiring, let's say, right? But for how long will you be able to pay him? Right? How long will you be able to pay the team? For 18 months, 12 months. When you submit an investment proposal, right? So hiring, market expansion, general state, district, or whether you want to go outside the prototype. Stages to acquiring, let's say, if you want to build something and then when companies, instead of setting up your own in-house team, right? You want to buy a smaller company, so acquiring stage, A, B, C, D, T, G, F, so private equity is 100 CR, 500 CR, the IPO live. So, go and buy shares, right? And also that is also a form of fundraising. That is also a form of fundraising from people, right? That is when IPO comes in later stage. That is when it goes to later stage. IPO, listing the stock exchange, and then national stock exchange. So this is some of the companies. So IPO, CEO, Series A, B, the angel funding, and then co-founder fame. And then Seed A, Series B, and IPO over there. So this is some of the companies got when last 4 or 5 years, 10 years. So when Nika, the Gihoraga, Ola, Zomato, Quaker, all these companies are built in the last 10 years, right? With the investment, with the venture capital investment, with the private equity investment, and then comes to Zomato, who's listing the stock exchange, the labor, right? And then Big Basket. I'm like Japto, and these are all the unicorns. So these are again some of the unicorns. So these are some of the fun. I think, people say that in the industry, we have enough capital in the market if you're building the right product, right? So these are some of the investors, Tire Global, SoftBank, Excel Partners, Bloom Ventures, like that. If you are agri-focused, if you are climate focus. There are different fund makan like. So this is actually a whole industry outside. Everyone is building something or the other outside. Everyone is trying to solve some companies, solve some problems, right? So aduki investment investors Japan is SoftBank, India investment. So Paytm, Swiggy, Ola, Uber, investment the least years the Nika, Alibaba, 2-3 crore investor or early stage that IPO the exit almost 5x and that is the investment model. So this is how we started. This is Nordic Venture Capital Fund. So I'm focused on Netfee Venture Capital Fund. We are the fund manager, right? Fund manager would say that is the limited partner, GP partner, and so we manage funds to promote the startups, to promote the investment, to promote the early stage investors. So this was in Aizawl when we launched the fund in 2017. So how much AP we doing procedure? So then comes, okay, so this is the fund, right? So Nasagi Mamali in this, that is NVCF, that is fund manager. So there next comes Nordic Venture Fund, NEVFC in the fund manager. So NEVFC, this is a 100 crore fund for the whole Nordics, which we launched in 2017. So the ticket size starts from 25 lakh to 10 CR, but our sweet spot is between 3 to 4 CR with 2 to 3 at Mahavia. And then we reinvest if your company is doing well. So the first 5 years. So CE investment 100 crores. Kana support of the Ministry of Donor, Netfee, City, 100 CR same money. So this is the stages. This is the thing that we have done in last 7 years, right? Last 7-8 years, fund secret we thought it will be very difficult to find a tech company from the Northeast region, right? But then today we have invested in 45 tech companies from the region. The entrepreneurs have grown, the stages have grown, the ecosystem has grown. Major already Sumaina boot camp educate is it the right instrument? If it's not the right instrument, what can we build? Because our fund is not, we don't have a timeline. You can come tomorrow if you have the right model. You can come next year. You can start building from today. Last year, which is first 5 years for any investment fund, that's the investment period. Student memo okay, this is how I want to be. We are always there, right? So how much Nordic Venture Fund raised over NBCL Fund Manager, NABF Fund, 2021 exit fund. By exit, exit has a retention high exit. That is called exit. In the venture capital investment, we call it exit. Right? Start of investment over 2 crore investment. And then Mana with some return profit margin investment. So in 2021, the first exit and Crowden Health companies from Guwahati, based in Bangalore, and investor Matunda, Govin Matamdane, and then at the same time, Moine exit Pia Pomatamze, Kamina exit Pigi Matamda, Moise, they were bought out by a US based company, Qualcomm Technology have a company, New York Stock Exchange, okay, Qualcomm has acquired and Crowden, New York Times Square, would kill. So then 2022, we took some of our investment proposal to Dubai Expo, and then we have NRL Angel Fund. So Fund create our so NRL Angel Fund and the Sisu Assam Guinea, Nordic Guinea, NRL Oil Palm, Money, corporate investment. I am the fund how Pomatam at the very least it was supported by government, it was supported by private investors who want to invest, but at the same time, today because of the startup ecosystem is growing, celebrity ambassador ambassador investment ideas invest HRX kind of ambassador every celebrity is investing angel investor they have their own fund also these days. Masagi fund purpose fund 100 crore create with that 100 crore 200 crore create. So this is angel fund and this is another fund that we manage in Nordic. So Manipur Startup Venture Fund is another fund that we manage. Okay, so 30 CR, 30, 40 CR, 100 CR. But then we are looking for another new states as well, for investment over. So this is the three fund that we manage. Not the venture fund, but is the investment time to go in 2017 data open first 5 to 6 years the investment period. I think that the companies are monitoring how can we help the company to grow, how do we stages to life. So that is when we so the thing is most of the company who is the built on board member we can talk about in place later who is the so when we look at the company for investment private limited company, 2 directors, no OBC private limited, not 2 directors, private limited company. That is when you have AGM, board of meeting, annual filing. So annual filing to the defined documentation, see it, the cover. So that is how we help the company on the documentation, takes people, so that is why institutional investment. Before I go ahead, I'll tell you, loan it's more expensive. But loan you have to give a collateral and then you have to start paying EMI and do that. But if that's the right business model for you, please go ahead with that. Traditional model, and then at the same time, get asset heavy over machineries, over schools, or hospitals. These are asset heavy. These are not scalable on technology basis. That to scale up it takes time, monitoring period, and at the same time, after 1 year you need some time to function the company, function the operation, and then you go ahead, right? So if that's the right business idea that you have, that's something that you want to build, please go ahead. I don't know, but technology startup or scalable startup, how, for example, direct food, that is. Early stage that 2014 this month so now Gula Bujia and now retail store company like that you can find it everywhere in Manipur or in even if it's not black rice, not at the same time you'll find similar product, right? But how do you differentiate, right? Suppose pulse kumba mithai chaba at the same time Bujia masai thai being amla there is no distribution game, right? So how do you scale up? Direct food expand our retail store. That is how you differentiate altogether if you want to build a venture capital investment model, right? So and I like MSBF like so I'll try to summarize. So this is the so partners who provide money to the fund, I said these are the limited partners. Saya ko na fund ho pamatanda fee na Ministry of Donor na CP na to big these are limited partners na limited partners ko adu GP na fund manager nga sagi NVCL high and then venture fund MSBF NRL NEBF these are venture fund and then this is how we invest. So we are sector agnostic. By sector agnostic we are not investment in focus on healthcare agri we are open to all the sectors. So this is about venture fund. I'm sure so this is a 30 CR fund. So ticket size starts from 10 lakh to 3 CR. 3 CR. So I mean we are quite open with it. We have received only 73 proposals and 4 proposal has been sanctioned. So you can look at the percentage. You are not going to get funded easily. 73 only 4 are selected, right? I'm not saying that others are rejected. I'm just saying that it's in the process. It takes time for you to be in the right business model. So these are some of the criteria. You can have a look. You can take a pictures. I'm sure that is also on the brochure. Private limited, we get about scale up revenue model. Revenue with our technology. When we say startups, we have to also consider why, what is the right startups are there. Scalable, about technology and innovation. Startups, when you're starting something new, that is not startups. When you want to come and get funding from startups, you have to think about these 3 things: scalable, innovation, and technology. In technology, integration is very much important when you want to scale up. There is always a, so innovation comes not only just in the product, but also in your business model, or your supply chain, or your so strong management team, advisor who has built, who has experience, advisor mentorship is very important when you, because company financial advisor right time the fighting talk in a board so see it or in-house in-house is expensive, but when your company grows big you have to have an in-house accountancy. So realistic exit you have to tell us before you take the money that how are you going to return the money, right? Financial projection with that projection will you be able to give the exit to us? You are not going to give the money funding negotiation stage is when you start paying off, right? We give you some time to actually build your company, right? So that is how you return the money. 18% IRR. So that is equity convertible note over the gadi. Chahi ama bigani akoina noyi company stake lower company over the convertible note the sagina chahi ama you start paying off some of the interest, some of the principal amount. Karamba instrument is the right one, is also important. So now Valerie, video them. So this is how to apply, right? Because we have limited time for combiners, apply the only startup money create. Startup money to go. Okay. Now, very detailed kind of
Open any web browser and go to the official website, startupmanipur.in. On the homepage, look for the button that says Apply Now for MSVF and click it. This will take you to the dedicated registration portal for the Manipur Startup Venture Fund. On the portal, you'll see an overview of the scheme. If you'd like to understand the fund in more detail, you can scroll to the bottom of the page and click the download button to access the official brochure. To begin your application, click on New Registration. On the first page of the registration process, you'll be asked to give consent to share your Aadhaar number. This is required to verify your identity and confirm that you are a resident of Manipur, as only domiciles of the state are eligible to apply. Tick the checkbox to provide your consent and click on Proceed. In the next step, enter your 12-digit Aadhaar number and click the Send OTP button. You will receive a one-time password on your Aadhaar-linked mobile number. Enter the OTP in the field provided and click Verify OTP. Once your Aadhaar is successfully verified, you'll be asked to enter your mobile number. This mobile number will be linked to your MSVF account and will be used as your login ID for all future access to the portal. Click Send OTP again, and after you receive the OTP on your mobile, enter it and click Verify OTP. After this step, your account will be successfully created on the MSVF portal. Now you'll be taken to the registration form, which is divided into 4 steps: startup profile, business pitch, past financial details, and review. In the startup profile section, begin by entering the name of your startup. This should be the legal name as registered with the relevant authorities. Next, select the type of startup from the drop-down list. Then, enter your company registration number, which is the official number issued at the time of business registration. Choose the date of incorporation of your firm from the calendar picker, indicating when your business was officially formed. Next, fill in your registered office address, including street, locality, district, and PIN code. This is the official location from where your business operates. You will then be asked whether your startup is recognized by DPIIT, Department for Promotion promotion of industry and internal trade? If yes, provide your DPIIT recognition number, which can be found on your recognition certificate. After that, indicate whether your startup is recognized under Startup Manipur. If it is, enter your Startup Manipur registration number. Now, you will be asked to enter the details of your company's founders. For each founder, fill in their full name, mobile number, and email address. To add more than one founder, use the Add More Founders button. Once all details are filled in, click Save and Next to move to the next step. The next section is a business pitch, where you explain what your startup is about and how you plan to use the funding. First, describe your product or service in detail, what your company is offering, what problems it solves, and how it benefits users. Then, in the innovation or USP field, explain what sets your offering apart from competitors. This could be a unique feature, business model, or a new technology. In the market details field, describe the target market you are addressing. Mention the size of the market, customer segments, and
Akoina
market
ayamba
trends.
application phangba matamda limited information yamna pirieba ko aduna akoina kitang detail oina videos explain tawsabte atai melaga main daba, and then it's very hard for us to process the application ko aduna phazana full oina melaga di akoida su detail do kano tawo ngam screening to matamda ka
Other businesses providing similar products or services, and explain how your startup differentiates itself.
competitor ni ko sino competitor ki information to be with sange ba koino competitor se kana kana lai market se kyam chawi at the same time apoi what is the competitive analysis to matam da nang na kari kenari noine to matam da kari kanari karam na hena customer da apa in product or services be ko so breakup of fund utilization ay nga sa hijacking ko 1 crore raise to matam da 20% is for HR, raw material, product development, around 40%, and team, marketing, so how do you break up? If you have an office set up, you don't need funding for that. If you need office set up, you have to put some money for that. So I don't know, once year to the break up, 40-50% marketing office setup but 50%, 50 crore, 50 lakh to the 50 lakh to the product to the profit hard to 100 lakhs at 1 crore rest of 1 crore products how the one so 50 or 60% is happening. How to manage the team and everything that has to be included. I don't know. It's not a working capital. No, in a working capital, that okay. I see that for one cycle. Credit hungry. I mean, by something connecting. I mean, see cycle. Some of the can't have them. Adugi working capital. Working capital should include only, but at the same time, employee salary be the salary should include the winner. Nang me tara salary the company like yang hay only had me tara darkar sing tara pin tha trying to pin adugi amount to include the view. That is why venture capital again it's a little better had the record in a way. So that comes fund utilization and then total tau running and then total math to the year. Kitang di slow set pamalan. So and the timeline ko have the cam na fundo good cam ko inisyon na no have po so don't because fundo loy no matung the what will you do have a port to live. That's why it's also very important to have the self-sustained to ngambra At the same time, you need to raise more funding to grow the company, right? So, safe next. Information revenue stays. So, see in a financial part, your revenue, EBITDA, PAT, so PAT tagi single, so PAT tagi suppose ako exit logo mo sa exit logo mo dun yun sa single, kaya mo matanda PAT siya ang sangyo, PAT sige 25% lagi na ako yung pesa or any hando ako matanda we cannot take it. Profit to Lord, we talk about in a company, how will you run it, right? So we also want your company to grow. At the same time, it's very important that you pay it's always about revenue. Revenue good in the sales store, but profit after tax. Tax how your company can grow, how it stays to become. So this is how you submit the form. I am a matanda, we say information submit over the blank, the submit over the I am the toilet can so this form submit all over the pirani and then you submit the form. So that's it. So please go back to the presentation. Presentation. So okay. So summarize the so sige funding stages kaya matang gam sang apply to right matam it depends. I will not say 3 months 4 months it depends on the documentation level of your company. Documentation in place it doesn't take much time for the company, right? I don't know submit the initial contact form submit and then comes preliminary terms and screening going. Screening to when companies say, I am applied to which ones fulfill the mandate, private limited or investment we can convert, but is it the right model, business model? Does it have a good revenue? And then comes investor due diligence. Due diligence, higher documentation checked over, the registration layer, trade license layer, GST in place. Ado ma'am so we light track is okay, but line of honor doing it. I want to look at it. Form filament the light have the class 10 pastor or 12 pastor the job application applied to the at Hala GST. These are some of the and then site visit our management and then screening the we have something called investment committee. Investment committee is the DD have the limit to the investments that is when you pitch to the board member. Board member say planning director later Netflix team presenter later Mapangi because it has to be a very whole decision whether we should invest in. It's not a one-person decision. Me and Matangi decision not them. So that is when our board members are from Mumbai and then they carry out. So then we will compile a couple of the documentations, legal due diligence, which Ayush will explain about legal documentation, and then comes joint account ceremony. That is where we transfer. We cannot transfer directly to your company's account. We transfer to a joint account, say application or escrow application form. We will do this. So this is the shortcut. The deal origin. Business is deal origin. And then comes the screening application. What is the information that we need? If you need more, sometimes, most of the time actually, application you cannot put out your idea more on people, right? Detail information there. So I think I'm going to say, see idea like see how many because that is the way me feel different ways like that. And then comes the evaluation. Evaluation is not going to evaluate our and then we will call you for a presentation, right? So and then comes negotiation. Negotiation is going to say, okay, no equity bramba, convertible note bramba. Liquidation preference have the company that has close down the equity loans banking is because loan is in a seniority instrument the seniority lay. So the my token because we come in as a partner, right? So the my token negotiation, when the terms it had on the terms it's the investments and we will invest for 3 years, 5 years, I do not draft over that. And then post activities, man, like exit. And this is the way. So see this part of the slide, I will try to summarize it through a video. So when a investor over company so you can actually read, but it's the video doing the time. So when a investor over company, I'm saying I had the last 7-8 years. NBCL video to second number folder to the folder to the second video second part.
In the heart of Northeast India, innovation and entrepreneurship are thriving. Thanks to a groundbreaking initiative of the Northeast Venture Fund, brought to life through the collaborative efforts of the Ministry of Development of the Northeastern Region and Northeastern Development Finance Corporation Limited, and Fund of Funds of Small Industries Development Bank of India. This pioneering fund, with a corpus of 100 rupees crores, is registered with the Securities and Exchange Board of India as an alternative investment fund under Category 1. It was established to support and nurture
investment
and early stage companies. Over the years, the Northeast Venture
Assam
Fund has been a
Assam
catalyst for innovation, enabling
So the
startups
3D
across various sectors such as agriculture,
Assam,
education, healthcare,
Manipur,
and more. The fund has so far committed over 98 rupees crores to
Tripura,
67
Sinamo,
startups from Northeastern region. The fund isn't just about
online
capital, it's
delivery
about
names
fostering
of
a
delivery
robust
invest
startup
over
ecosystem.
tissue culture जो हाथ तक ecosystem
Guiding and nurturing startups in the region.
Sikkim की सिने tours and travel को
Thriving
यहाँ
entrepreneurial
फसलों
landscape.
तो वही मोइसो
Many startups supported have achieved
NKM अरे
remarkable
सिने
success.
मैचुका अरुणाचल प्रदेश तक
100 rupees crores.
activities
The
फसलों
funds
provide तो वही मोइसो
extend beyond the region,
scale up तो वो मापान की तो यहाँ तो वो our guest is Sikkim दे तो वो मेघालय state मखन state अमर तो नंबर confine तो वो तो वो मोइसो Sikkim chief manager SBI को है मगर वो पीछे न महा गोरे मैं कभी पिक मैन मणिपुर की पिक मैन पिक की ट्रेनिंग में हम चले मणिपुर पिक हम पिक ले लोग से आसाम में शुरू हुए
Collaborations with institutions and stakeholders have further enriched the startup ecosystem.
East Mojo सिने East Mojo online की के नोट तो सो कोई investment में सिने ताकि सिने मेघालय की part of the handloom इशू यहाँ पर है किसी किसी इशू यहाँ पर वो ये डिजाइन यहाँ पर है तो मणिपुर आसाम में आखिर तो प्रोडक्ट पाने पर curate तो होगा मापान दा कुछ ना crafting जे भी यहाँ ना interesting होगा product ने वो इस सिने target food को
Building on its success, NEDFI has
ताकि उमोक सोर्स ने को सिना वो ये सिने प्यूरी लाउरा का सुंदोगा हिमाचल मथक था वो सिना brick in plastic की waste हाफ का सेम investment को यहाँ ना फंड से नो लिस्ट association in 10 CR in the fund सिटी तक अकोई ना 1 CR था दावा ताकि NRL ना 2 CR ताकि ये बात सिना मणिपुर भी green belt
Together, we'll create a vibrant and thriving startup ecosystem in the Northeast.
We'll go back to the presentation. I'll wrap it up. Slide in the center. He's going back to Guwahati, so I'll try to summarize it. So drone की company थे सिना लगी सिना encloud ना कोई investor वो कितने ने exit तो कितने सिना East Mojo लाये तंथा लाये entertainment ना ITU Tripura education दबा लगी थी कई कितने तो ना चर्चा लगी सिना सिक्स ने आम कुछ फंगे से जो 10 CR से भी लगे सिसु सिद्वी देशु आम ना फंगे सिसु सिना e-waste cycle right from your phone computer any e-waste recycle से ahamba आई सो investment ओए भी सिगी से को अंदर आपको ना NRL लगे NBCL ले फंग मतों दा मुझसे भी ना मु invest हो गए investment चाहे मोई कनो kano sida sigi level sida di 5 CR 6 CR 10 CR adugi level da yoga adu recycle e battery gi recycle su plan how dore adana notice da gi mahom da gi lo na provide so asigi sina yamna interesting safe march na kana to ba ta I am a subway Guwahati de any restaurant lai ba chain am sin moina supply to ba ta frozen food everything right Manipur am phangi ba octopus adu da am squid phang moina supply to ba ta ne so bright crops so koina pintola butter adu da am sing du gi rice cake phang do moina brown rice cake assam de supply to ne ko so asigi sina sibbi gi SBI chief manager na to to ba big man and magi maze Amsterdam set kind of training to Laura bank it out to toga big feet had the India the big feet separate to pang the bagya kogi patau the be in a sword ka had jam in a pasada go in the win mala adu gi system to change down the sam the pork production so yam thing yam ever it's huge have the chain man dai de was just the KFC chicken gi lebe ta my to the magi sin a big letter back end big letter gi however product the front end frozen sauces mapangi steak cut adu different cut feed to provide the way training to provide the way and then training provide the the loan live big live issues so equal is in online the fees pamba so very food jome food Nagaland honey the to masu mo packaging am phasai adagi mapan la yole am matam so Nagaland is su sina Meghalaya ne handloom handicraft the Ruloi tea in the last 8 years I know Guwahati level matam sida some kilometers actively pangani na nuti jagi mani masum abi akoina presentation je lakh to ne nuti jagi lakh matam je tea sida dum jaw but how do you differentiate differentiate yourself aduna tea powder akoi thaina miko ga ne phangdo always mapani low ni na but akoina de widely accepted oil product similar product mane instant chai adu ma powder semba nan sin puthora pa ta umok sauce lai sida hot sauce ko and then crafting lai lenga sagin and see buffet bags is assam de chalo ko hatin chalo adum buffet bag jute bags is adum yeah line phang is so fine but at the same time how do you differentiate is where he is selling mane at sea the US I am a US to you but Dubai to you but adagi perfume you me me am the partner to B2B to I am so and can to sisu sikim ni ama Meghalaya all over Northeast Lucian American in Mapani so sin ba Geo Festival sin ba kot ma'am MT chong sin ba heta mo ki kan scale up sin not just one two so green biotech like prediction like biotech company I mean this is tissue culture ko ki alu the street hapai ko ko ba am tender to ko ko me am sin si tissue culture am ba asam da sa pa sin mo ki agro prediction agrotics this am ba sidai lo mo dai lo so this is Mechuka Zero Festival ma'am will come here so akoy investment matung da Arunachal Zero da dang tom da yung Hyderabad so this is how you scale up right not just focusing because Zero is a very expensive day-to-day concert akoy na chapter do na table na adu da chakya that right from your stay travel it's very expensive around 30 40 50 k dum chakki ne ticket price so that's very focused aduna mo na mo Hyderabad mo expand ta pa da ma so this is the pitch deck format usually pitch to matam when a company wants to pitch to us what should you bring matam sa format of the review says man to the sige mo sa ang company pain point solution marketing traction management team opportunity customer client and revenue model SWOT analysis si ma'am like fund utilization exit strategy loy namang like habi ate kon aray bagay ko na fill up to it's easier for us to understand the business kay no have mo tabla ko na investment committee nga sagit last day da ko na khanli haiba kano sa sana nam khanli haiba gi pitch to ko sa noy na pitch to tu nga ako na pitch to gi board member man sida ina company chama pu la sida ina company ahumari pu khali say why is it that I should invest in this company I need explain to the board member so for that I have to understand everything about the company aina moina question how but I come with the stage to like it so partner mo na as a partner na ina day to day operation yaw ni happen to get the investment I should understand that this is the stage this is how the supply chain works this is the number of employee adu ma'am stage hai type so that's all that's my presentation a brief presentation kitang isang doctor so I'm here, so question hang ko lang kasi we can still. Ado kano tawo siya, lawyer ka po kang siya, QA session na tawo siya po. May flight line na. So ning din dong eto bio ay email love you office personal mail so don't bizarre me if you want to send your pitch deck, if you want to ask anything, I'm still here. So QA session na so don't connect tawo siya po. Yari po.
Q&A can be done in the...
Later. Okay, thank you so much.